I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Smith, will you open in prayer?
Heavenly Father, we come to you again. We thank you for the opportunity to gather together and do the business of the county. Lord, we ask that you would be with each item that we go through, that we would make the right decision, do the right thing, and that we would continue to keep our focus on what the purpose is here in the county, to try to move ahead, try to help the citizens of this county to better themselves, and that we would grow as a county. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to do this. We ask that you help us to make the right decisions. We ask these things in your precious name, and amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. It's not lost on me that I'm looking at the top of our agenda and it says it's 9/11. And, that was a terrible time in our history. I remember I was in high school Spanish class, and for me personally, I remember kind of being glued to the TVs for the days that followed. And here we are so many years later, and we've gotten so far away from September 12th. When our country did come together, when we did act together, even though we disagreed, we pulled together as Americans, as patriots, and based on the events of yesterday with some school shootings and of course the death of Charlie Kirk, for speaking on his freedoms, whether you agree or not, it's kind of irrelevant, but exercising his freedoms. How do we get back to September 12th? How do we get back to being able to disagree, being able to allow procedures to happen and not celebrate in the demise of what people may view as their political opponents? And so today I just kind of want to reflect on that, because so many in the crowd yesterday don't remember what September 12th was like. They were too young, they weren't alive. And I hope that we don't get to another point where this country is shaken back into reality of truly what matters and what it means to be Americans and pull together. So this September 11th, we do pause to remember all those lives that were lost. But at the same time, we need to focus on September 12th and figure out how here in this community we can focus on what we can control, Commissioner Smith, and how in this community, how do we pull together? How do we quit demonizing what we view as the other side, and where we can work together to do good? How do we do that? And I know I'm committed to doing that, and Commissioner Smith, I know you're committed to doing that as well. But I just wanted to share that before we got started. The date always hits differently every year, and based on the events of yesterday, it's even more telling that we've come so far, and yet we've drifted so far apart at the same time. So I would challenge everybody to figure out what we do have in common, and let's focus there first, and then the rest will take care of itself. So that's what I have to start off, Commissioner Smith. We can get started with approving the meeting minutes of September 4th.
I will make a motion that we approve those minutes.
And I will vacate the chair to second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation of funds,
Any comments or questions on item 2? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request for appropriations.
And I will second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation transfer of funds,
Any comments or questions on our transfers? Hearing none.
Make a motion that we approve the transfer of funds.
I'll second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation of fund regarding sanitary engineer,
Any comments or questions on item 4? Hearing none.
I make a motion we approve the request for appropriations.
I'll second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment for the regular schedule of accounts for various funds, moral obligations, and then and now certificates in the total amount of $544,931.74.
Comments or questions on the docket? Hearing none.
Make a motion that we approve.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Any comments or questions on our miscellaneous reports? Hearing none.
I make a motion we accept the miscellaneous reports.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of amendment to sub-grant agreement between the Scioto County Job and Family Services and Community Action Organization of Scioto County for administration of the Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program regarding JFS.
All right, this is a sub-grant agreement between Scioto County Job and Family Services and Community Action Organization of Scioto County for the administration of the Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program. The agreement ends September 30th of 2025. The amendment request is to add $175,000 of CCMEP TANF regular program funds and $10,000 administrative funds, totaling $185,000 additional funds for the administration of the CCMEP program. The original sub-grant award was $952,921 and $70,776 in administration, totaling $1,023,588. All other terms of the contract remain the same. The amended sub-grant total will now be $1,127,821 in regular program and $80,767 in administration. Totals contract a little over $1.2 million for our TANF program administered by the Community Action. We have Steve Sturgill sitting here today, so we appreciate your continued partnership in this program, sir, and looks like more money is coming into the community specifically for this sub-grant. So any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
Make a motion we accept the amendment to the CCMEP sub-grant program.
Approve.
Make a motion to approve?
Yes.
Yes, that's what he has. I'll second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of rescinding contract with Coleman Sanitation System,
So this is a correction that request from our maintenance supervisor regarding the action we took literally last week regarding Republic. So we had fees that were $568. We were told it was going to raise to $639. At that time, we did reach out to Coleman Sanitation. The price was at $450, which would have been $218 of savings each month. When we did reach out to Republic, the charge was actually lower there. It's $250. So there's another additional $200 savings versus not switching. So it's at our maintenance director's request that we're going to approve the Republic service contract for $250 per month for 36 months. Total savings is $389 a month, and rescind the contract or the agreement that we had previously signed. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
I make a motion to approve the rescinded contract.
All right. I will second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of contract agreement between Board of Scioto County Commissioners and Republic Services regarding the service agreement.
This is the actual service agreement with Republic for 36 months. Comments, questions? Hearing none.
Make a motion we accept the contract. We approve the contract, I'm sorry.
No problem. I'll second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of resolution for National Adult Education and Family Literacy Week, September 15th through the 19th, 2025.
Paula, you ready for a speech? I'm kidding. I'm not going to make you do it. Sorry.
I think we should.
I have a little facetious. We do have a resolution to consider, Commissioner Smith. It's in the matter of resolution for National Adult Education and Family Literacy Week. This is September 15th through the 19th. Whereas more than 43 million Americans can't read or write at the most basic level, while 62.7 million lack basic math skills, as well as credentials and skills necessary to succeed in post-secondary education. And whereas every year 1 in 3 young adults drop out of high school, and whereas the American Action Forum estimates that America is short an estimated 7.5 million private sector workers across all skill levels. And whereas adult education programs in high schools and adult schools, community colleges, and community centers offer low, high-value programs that upgrade the skills sets of our citizens. And whereas our Portsmouth, Ohio, and Scioto County celebrates Adult Education and Family Literacy Week as a proud participant in the National Educate and Elevate campaign, which helps our citizens learn about their adult education options to obtain the professional and personal goals. Now therefore, we, the Scioto County Board of Commissioners, proclaim September 15th through the 19th as Adult Literacy Week in Portsmouth and Scioto County. Any additional comments or questions, sir?
Yes, I've worked with Paula for a number of years before retiring and coming into this job, and she is totally sold out to this program. I mean, she has put many years into working with this program, and at the time that I worked there, we were trying to upgrade her rooms to make them work, and she is totally sold out. She wanted the best for these people so that she could teach them to read, to get their GED, to get through the program, and I think that needs to be noted that Paula is really bought into this program. And with that, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
And I will gladly second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye. Paul, you want to receive the resolution? Mr. Smith, will you join me up front? Bill's taking a weird seat selfie.
Say puppies. All letters.
Sorry, Bill, I gotta give you a hard time. All right, moving on to item 11.
In the matter of designating a representative and an alternate representative regarding County Risk Sharing Authority.
So we do have representatives for Corsa. This is our risk sharing authority. As it stands right now on the list, voting representative is listed as Commissioner Davis, and the alternative at the time was Commissioner Coleman. We do have the ability to put our alternative as Chris Norman. He's with our insurance group as well. He goes to all the meetings, so really, Commissioner Smith, we have a decision to make of who would like to be our voting representative. No pressure.
I volunteer.
Oh, look at you, great. So appreciate that, and would we want our voting alternative to be listed as Chris Norman?
Yes, that sounds good. I would make a motion that we would approve that.
Okay, so,
Approve me and approve him.
all right, and I will gladly second and allow you to do that for us.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Hi.
In the matter of resolution transferring the former Children's Services Building to the South Central Ohio Education Service Center.
I don't know if many people realize we do own the old Children's Services Building sitting there in New Boston. It's been sitting up there for a while now, and it's really more of a risk to the county, and the longer we hold on to it, I do know that the modular, we've already agreed to work with Community Action on moving the modular and getting it set up for to help support our youth, and ESC has come to us with a proposal. And Commissioner Smith, I'll allow you to opine on what they would like to do and see and operate within that space.
Yes, we kind of I guess it was a joint reaching out to. We would love to see the building be used in some way other than just sitting there. And we also would love not to have to pay utilities on the building any longer. So kind of reached out to the ESC, and the ESC was very interested in saying that they would like to give us a proposal. Their proposal is that they would like to eventually go into that building and put in an initiative that would provide mental health, therapeutic, and substance abuse intervention for children at a school setting, to where that they would be able to come in and continue their learning, be shipped in from the different schools, and also provide mental health services and drug abuse services. And they didn't get into a lot of specifics in how they would do all of that right now, but that's what they would like to do. They would like to get the building to where they could get it into a condition to where that they could start doing this. And so as we talked about it, we sought an opinion from the prosecutor's office as to how we could transfer that building, and they gave us the means of how we could transfer that building to the ESC so that they could start working on providing these services that they're talking about. And that's what the resolution's about today, to try to transfer that building into their ownership so that they could get started on renovating and getting ready to maybe provide the services that they were talking about.
Great. You know, so often we say we're lacking mental health services for children. And we've been talking about this for a while, even prior to you, Commissioner Smith. And so we have an entity that's willing to figure that out. We have the space to provide, and ESC has been a great partner for the county. You actually manage our Watch Me Grow program as well, is that correct?
Help Me Grow.
Help Me Grow, sorry. Watch Me Grow is the other one, Help Me Grow. So ESC's been a great partner for the county, and excited to see our children get some mental health services and partnerships. Clearly, we need it now more than ever, so thank you for the initiative there. I have no other questions, if we can entertain a motion.
I would make a motion to adopt the resolution.
And I would gladly second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of deed transfer of parcels 28-1359 and 28-1358 from Board of Sauter County Commissioners to Southern Central Ohio Education Service Center regarding the former Children's Services Building.
So since the ESC is a political subdivision of the state of Ohio, we can do a direct transfer, direct deed transfer, as opposed to if we would have put it out for private development. So this board is able to take action on moving the deed to another political subdivision, which is what this action would be doing. Comments or questions? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer of deed.
I'll second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
In the matter of accepting judgment entry from the Clerk of Courts.
So we did receive the judgment entry from the Clerk of Courts regarding Commissioner Davis's provisional suspension. I want to speak on this a little bit. Provisional suspension is a voluntary suspension that would have been agreed upon by his legal team and the state of Ohio, authorizing the special prosecutor to submit a judgment for provisional suspension. The three-judge panel still has to meet. The three-judge panel still has to take action and make a ruling on whether or not him staying in office would be impacted, if the office would be impacted if he wasn't suspended. Once they make that final ruling, which since this is a voluntary suspension, I would imagine they'll follow suit. At that point, the local Republican Party can take action to appoint a temporary replacement while the legal proceedings play out. Just so everybody knows, it is paid leave. And look, if Commissioner Davis is innocent, then by all means he should be getting paid. Like, that's how this works. If he is found guilty and convicted, any payment made by the county to him should be paid back, and that's spelled out in the ORC as well. So there's a mechanism to pull back any funds, however long this process takes. What it does for this board, it kind of allows us to move forward without too much second guessing of, is somebody showing up, are they not? It eliminates a lot of question work. So I do appreciate the voluntary suspension, so we as a community and we as a board can move forward without wondering what may be coming. There's still a couple more of those steps and hurdles to overcome. First and foremost, what the three-judge panel will say, and then of course the appointment process, and then ultimately the legal proceedings, which could take, we really don't know how long. So we will be likely paying 2 commissioners for the same seat in the very near future, and that's kind of where we're at with that document. My focus is moving forward. It's kind of cleared the way for us, Commissioner Smith, to allow that process to play out. What happens there, but our job is to continue to move this county forward, and that's my focus. Any additional comments or questions?
The only thing I would have to add to that is I have said all along that this has been a distraction, and hopefully this helps move that away from that distracting situation to where that we can move ahead and do the business that needs to be done in Scioto County.
All right. So with that, I will entertain a motion just to accept, correct?
Yeah.
Motion to accept.
I make a motion to accept the entry.
And I will second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Hi. I know at this point, we normally jump straight to questions, items on agenda, off agenda. I'm going to do a little different today. With all of the investigations and indictments, and I see Bill Shope sitting here with us yet again, and he would just about every other week ask what's going on with economic development. And I believe at several of those meetings, I've stated, hey, I'm not comfortable recreating a system not knowing if any additional indictments are coming. At that point, we knew of the indictment of Robert Horton, but we didn't know the indictments of Commissioner Davis and his wife. We knew it was possible. We knew there were John Doe and Jane Does listed, and everybody could guess at who. But I wasn't willing to create a system in which the system itself would be questioned as soon as more revelations came to light. I think we're past that. I think we're past those questions now, and how does the county move forward? Over the past several months and really years, I've been having conversations and research into, hey, what does work best throughout the region? When you start looking at Lawrence County, Jackson County, Pickaway County, what are they doing? And what they are not doing is relying on one entity to control the entire situation or the entire economic development system. What they are doing is partnering, and they're partnering with organizations that touch economic development. So all the organizations within that community are walking in the same direction. They're all involved at the beginning, and they're moving forward in a meaningful way. So what I'd like to do today is to announce and share a work group that we've been having meet lately. I appreciate all of these men and their leadership. They were immediately willing to reach out and say, hey, how can we help? How do we move it forward? In spite of everything else, we still have to see Scioto County prosper, and what does that look like? So I appreciate them, and at the same time, I will say they are not here because of who they are, but because of who they represent. Because the reality is, whatever we build today has to survive tomorrow, has to survive in 10 years, 5 years, in spite of who's sitting in these seats. And that's really been a focus of mine. How do you create a system that is not so easily changed by the whims of politics or emotions? How do you create something that can withstand some of those storms? And the only way to do that is to spread out the control in a meaningful way. So I'm going to introduce some gentlemen today. I'm going to ask you to come up here and line the front of the... Yeah, I am, guys. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. Thank you for your service. But first I want to start with Ryan Brown. Ryan Brown is our president of SOPA. Ryan stepped up in the middle of the storm. Yeah, that's right, you're first. Ryan stepped up in the middle of the storm. His very first SOPA meeting was after the indictments. So he got to help with a lot of the cleanup. You know, there was a belief just a half a year ago or longer that volunteers could not run SOPA. Volunteers could not keep the wheels running. It was too complex. And it is. I'm not saying it's not. But Ryan and the board has done a fantastic job of righting the ship, digging out of some of the stuff that's been going on. Should economic development live in SOPA? I think we probably both agree, probably not. I think reputationally, the name has been damaged in spite of who's sitting in the seats. But SOPA is a very invaluable tool for this community based on all of the advantages they can offer potential providers. So thank you, sir, for being part of the work group. SOPA is critical that it is part of the conversation. There's still a lot of business happening through SOPA, a lot of discussions being made with potential developers, the bonding, the leases. So thank you so much for being involved. Next up, we have Chris Hamilton. Chris is a VP of lending for Desco. Desco is our oldest and only locally owned and operated financial institution. If you're going to touch economic development, you better have some people that understand finance, because there's a lot of different financial packages that hit. And I appreciate him willing to lend his expertise to this work group as we work forward to develop economic development. Next on the block is Justin Clark. Justin Clark was one of the very first to reach out to me and say, hey, how do we move forward? What's it look like? How do we operate? Justin's representing the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce, once again, an entity that touches economic development all the time. supporting our current businesses, connecting them with resources, and empowering them to grow and to succeed in Scioto County. So thank you, sir. Sam Sutherland. I appreciate this man more than he knows. Sam is a rock, is doing many great things in the city of Portsmouth. And quite honestly, the bulk of his infrastructure, water, sewer, whatever it is, has a very real impact on any major developments that we could be tackling. I know you got a little water project plant that's happening right now that is going to be critical for the future of our economic development.
$110 million.
It's only $110 million. What's that, right? So thank you, sir, for being here. I know your plate is very full, but thank you for putting this also on your plate. Steve Sturgill.
I want to make sure there's nothing.
Make sure there's nothing in front of you, sir. Steve Sturgill is the Executive Director of Community Action. Community Action touches so many lives here within this community, the services they provide, but also all of our workforce development money flows through Community Action. And they have a lot of resources and opportunities to share with potential developers. So it's critical that as we're talking to developers, we're also talking workforce, and we're also talking, hey, what is this? What can we offer to you? Speaking of workforce, we have President Eric Braun. President Braun, of course, of Shawnee State University, his leadership there at the university has been stellar. We're seeing a real focus on how do you leverage a state institution to meet the needs of the local employers. We're seeing that with your social work program, the increase in the healthcare and nursing, and so many more. And I know you guys are committed to rise to the occasion of whatever may come to the community. So I appreciate your leadership, sir. And then finally, we have President Ben Gill of SOMC. SOMC is our largest employer. Healthcare is critical, and access is critical when people are looking to develop in quality of life, and when they're looking to move into a community. SOMC has been a great partner in this community for so many years, and I appreciate his leadership. So people might be saying, so what does this look like? At this point, there's not an entity created, not yet. The goal is to create a nonprofit economic development organization, similar to Lawrence County, similar to Jackson County, similar to Pickaway County, in which multiple entities have seats at the tables, voting rights within the tables. Essentially, what this action would do, Commissioner Smith, is strip all of the power away from us. We would still be at the table, but we would be empowering the community to move forward. We would be empowering the entities that already touch economic development to be in the room at the beginning to ensure, hopefully, the smartest people are in the room, and we're not those folks. So we've assembled a team here to help us navigate this. I'm excited about this. This is the day we move forward. We have everything else behind us at this point. There's a lot of great economic development conversations happening in this community even today. And with your leadership, gentlemen, and the support of your organizations, I'm encouraged for the future of Scioto County. So thank you all for being here, just as a show and transparency of what it is we're doing and what this looks like. So thank you all. You want to grab a picture with these guys? Everybody else is, look at them posing. Come on, Commissioner Smith. I'll jump right in here. Commissioner Smith, get on up here. And this is, we can remember the day we did this. And Joe, you might want to.
Is it glare off your head?
Come on.
Don't let it take on you yet.
Rough room.
1, 2, and 3. Let's do this one more time. 1, 2, and 3. All right, gentlemen, thanks so much. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your support. Be good. Mr. President, thank you so much. Does anybody want to give a speech? You're always up for a speech.
I'm afraid I screwed that up.
I would like to say that one of the things when I came in that I talked about was economic development, and then I think I came back in a couple meetings and said there are things going on that just can't talk about right now that is moving economic development ahead, and this is one of those things. One of those things where getting people together, and I have not met with this group.
It's true.
But I knew this group was together, and we talked about it, and I knew that some of this was coming, and this is one of the things that I talked about, as I said, we do have economic development moving forward in this county. As some people have said, oh, it's stalled. That it's never been stalled. Economic development is not stalled. It may have been slowed a little bit, but it's not stalled. It's moving ahead.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. A lot more to come on that. We are in the development phases, and then, of course, bylaws and all that stuff has to be worked through, but a very capable group to figure that out and move forward quickly. I know we have a bid opening. It's 10 o'clock, 10:01, I'm late. So close. So with the matter of the bid opening for the rubber tire loader for the engineer's office.
Yes. I just have one bid, and it's from Southeastern Equipment Company. I hope I don't mess this up. I only see one price on here, so hopefully I don't mess it up. $126,898.88.
And it is our only bid, and we will have our engineer. I know he's working hard for the county in Cincinnati, I think. Cincinnati or Columbus, one or the other, one of the big C's. So appreciate Engineer LeBron, but we will forward the bid, and actually I'll entertain a motion to forward the bid to the engineer for review and recommendation.
I would make that motion to forward the bid.
All right. I have a second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye. Now we are actually to our questions. Any questions item on agenda? And I do want to be mindful, we have at 11 o'clock, it says 11, but we're going to have to leave here semi-soon. It's a public viewing at Dogwood Ridge Heights. Anytime we vacate a road, we actually have to physically drive out and look at it and be like, yep, there it is. So we will do that today for a potential vacation. And of course, if there's anybody in favor or against that, they can also show up to kind of point out why it is beneficial or not beneficial, essentially, to vacating a road and reverting back to the adjacent property owners. So that is happening soon. So if I do cut off questions, that's the only reason why. Okay. Any questions item on agenda? On agenda, we have one. Mr. Shope, come on up.
Okay, more than one, but I'll.
Well, you can have it all the time you need, sir.
All right, thank you, guys, and for whatever it's worth, I'd like to commend the commissioners for acting an appropriate time frame to renew our economic development department, and great choices, every one of them. So, as a citizen, thank you. Looking at the agenda, were there any other entities interested in the former Children's Services building?
We had folks over the past, I mean, that building's been sitting vacant now for 2-3 years. We've had folks express interest, not real plans, wanting to lease it, wanting to rent it. For me, that was never an option because the county would still be responsible for maintaining. There's some work there that needs to be done. I know that we had some flooding in there sometime last year, I believe, where the basement had to have some drywall and stuff removed from the basement. So it's an easier proposition to get it in the hands of somebody, and it's a worthwhile call specifically to our mental health offerings for children. So, yeah.
Great, thank you very much. Move straight to item 14 as far as items on the agenda are concerned. Are there any actions that are required from the Scioto County Commissioners moving forward regarding Commissioner Davis' resignation, potential return, or anything? Is there anything that you guys are embedded that you have to do?
No. In terms of it's outside the process in terms of what we have the authority to do. Administratively, somebody's on suspension, you start turning off access to systems, you start changing some of those things. That's typical with any organization. You start turning off access to email, any IT services, anything like that, until it's resolved. So some of those things are in effect even as of today, working through those. But in terms of the process, it's in the court's hands at this point, and then eventually it'll be in the local Republican Party's hands in terms of who may be sitting in this seat.
Okay, and I know that, we're fortunate to have Treasurer Samlin with us today. I know earlier he had called for Commissioner Davis to step away from the land bank. I know there's a commissioner on there and everything.
Yeah.
Has that taken place?
So at this point, it has not taken, there hasn't been a formal resignation from the land bank. With the suspension though, and we'll get with legal counsel, I would imagine that would go into effect because the seat he is sitting in is a commissioner seat. And if he's not sitting here, it's pretty difficult to be there as well. So we're working through that as well.
Okay, that's all I've got.
That's all you got?
Yeah,
We'll
you did a great job presenting here earlier, so
All right.
got a bunch more questions.
Nothing off agenda?
Nope.
Okay. Any additional questions? Yes, sir. I didn't forget about you, Todd.
Like always.
I didn't forget about you.
Well, I talked to you guys this morning, about, you guys know we're going to do the pheasant hunt October the 25th for disabled vets and disabled kids. ODNR called me Tuesday evening and said they're no longer going to help us with the trout again. Same guy said that disabled vets and disabled kids do not deserve to fish. Now, this is ODNR, and I've had it out with him several times, which you remember when we had to buy the trout last year for the disabled kids and disabled vets. I think it's wrong. I think it's bull. He's just putting off, we asked for 1,700 fish for the disabled kids and vets. Last year we did over 900 kids and vets at the trout derby. I don't like it with him. He don't have the respect for the disabled veterans. And I just, the disabled kids, like Vern Wright kids come down there and stuff. We need to do something about it. I reached out to Governor DeWine. I talked to Tammy Puff about it. She's going to try to make us an appointment to meet the governor to see if he can't override it, because they raise 100,000 fish a year. They don't want to give us, Governor DeWine helped us start this in 2018 with Claude Duckworth when we started the trout derby, and it's grown and grown and grown for the disabled kids and disabled vets, and we need help to push it through. I just don't like people to disrespect the disabled veterans and disabled kids, and to me that's what he's doing when he says they don't deserve it. He said that they're not an angler. Hey, if a vet ain't got no legs, wants to fish, he can fish anywhere the way I see it, and stuff. So that's all I've got to say.
Well, Todd, I know we're very supportive of the work you do with the trout derby, the no-kill deer lure, the pheasant hunt, and the amount of energy that you pour into our veterans and our disabled kids is to be commended. I know we supported you last year, and I imagine we'll do that again, but you have our commitment. We'll work with the governor and try to get to some sort of resolution with whatever roadblock you're running to there at ODNR.
It's going to be.
We're starting early this year. Last year everything was allocated allegedly, but we're starting early.
We're going to name it after Kathy Coleman and Dick Hanley and Bill Hanley, both retired cops from Portsmouth.
Yeah.
There are 2 vets that will be in there, and then Kathy, in memory of Kathy, because we're going to do it 3 days again and stuff. But I'm tired of arguing and fighting with it. The park loves us. I mean, Bruce Mitchell comes down from Swamp People and comes up and spends a week up here in the city and talks to everybody and stuff. But the kids deserve it for Vern Rice School. I mean, that was the first time, and they'd ever caught a fish. They caught over 700 fish the first day. And to me, it's nothing better than watching them do it. I mean, we're trying to get that wheelchair track built for competition bow shooting also out there, So, I mean, the vets want to come, and I mean, I got a list of vets. But that's all I got to say. Thank you, guys.
So I appreciate you so much. We'll work on that.
Well, and I'd like to say that we're very supportive, and I know this was a big thing for Kathy, and Kathy was really, and it's very appreciative that you are you're doing it in honor of her this year. And I agree with you that it's awful that they would not give you the fish, but I think that if you look at it, we'll work hard to make sure that you have fish. However it works, if we have to get it taken care of locally, we'll work hard to make sure that it's done.
That's my goal, is we shouldn't have to, the vets should
Right.
never have to help raise money for their own, for a disabled tractor designed for them. They shouldn't have to help raise money for it. So they gave their legs, their arms, and all that stuff for it, and they gotta be treated, and the Vernon Wright kids, that's the best thing they've ever done. So, thank you.
Appreciate that. Any additional comments, questions, in-house? I'm not gonna jump to online today, so we can get out to that viewing, while people are still here. I'm sure there's some conversations. Any closing statements, Commissioner Smith?
Going back to your opening statement, I'd like to say, the 911, I went to the 911 museum a few years ago, and if you've never been up there, it's a moving place. You walk in there and you see, as you walk through, they play radio transmissions from the fire and rescue and the police as the event's going on, and it's a really moving experience. And you go back, of course, you were in school. I was actually leading a workshop on attendance at that time, making sure you were in school.
You were the guy.
But anyway, it is something that we need to make sure that we don't forget. We need to keep that in our memories, and we need to make sure, as you said, that we remember September the 12th, where this country was. And during a time like that, when things are in flux, and we really are stressed, everybody comes together, but it doesn't take long to forget that, and we don't want to forget that. So I guess basically my closing statements are, let's not forget what happened 9/11, let's not forget where we were on 9/12.
Thank you, sir. I have one final announcement. We did get a letter from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, and this is exciting for our friends of Brush Creek, site of Brush Creek, and the site of Brush Creek. So ODNR is in the legal notice. Their intent is to designate Scioto Brush Creek as a state scenic river in Scioto County. The Scioto County Brush Creek State Scenic River designation has been completed, and we're currently working through the process there. Upon designation, Scioto Brush Creek will become Ohio's 17th waterway to join the state system of wild, scenic, and recreation rivers. It's due to the hard work of the Friends of Scioto Brush Creek. They clean that watershed. They have multiple cleanups. The quality of water really drives how you even get this designation. If you get online and look at a map of the different waterways that have this designation, there's a big donut hole in South and Southeast Ohio. But due to their hard work and their cleanup efforts, it looks very real that the Scioto Brush Creek, which is near and dear to my heart, I grew up living in the creek every summer. We lived on the creek. That will be a scenic river designation. So thank you to ODNR for looking into this. It is 25.1 miles of waterway within that goes into those Scioto rivers. So a big get for our community. It feeds into all of the recreation efforts that we've been having over the past several years. It helps support the Rails to Trails initiative once that's fully developed, as that system runs parallel with Scioto Brush Creek for a very long way. So once again, thank you, Friends of Brush Creek, for your initiative on this and doing all the paperwork. This has been a couple years in the making, I believe, at this point. So thank you to them. We do have, like I said, we have the public viewing. So at this point, we will recess because that is a public hearing, so it's part of our meeting. And then we will adjourn in Porter Township once we go through the legal requirement of the public viewing. But with that, I will entertain a motion to recess.
I make a motion to recess.
And I will second.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye. It is 10:15. We won't be live streaming the public viewing. We will have it recorded. and of course minutes taken, so those will be available at a later time.